Anytime you can add an MVP, a guy of his caliber, his basketball IQ to the floor, and he's still a threat on the offensive end. You saw that last night with his shot-making ability from the three-point line, and he still can get fouled from the line. Obviously, he hurts them defensively as far as rotations, and there's that. You saw he got a steal last night, and I thought they did an excellent job of showing when he did make a great defensive play, just the burst to get out in the break and complete those plays is just not there. But I do commend him for playing, but having him on the floor, they need him. If you look at that roster, and we just talked about the role players and the inconsistency that the role players are given from game in and game out, you need James Harden on the floor. Just for his basketball IQ, his smarts, his leadership, it's better for him to be on the floor than off the floor. So I like the fact he's on there. And he just alluded to, if he's just touching the basketball on game days, people got to be prepared if they're going to continue to advance that he's not going to be very good throughout this playoffs if that's the case. If he has to rest that hamstring and not do any activities on off days, it's going to be very difficult for him to be efficient in a game. It's too hard to turn it on. The intensity level is at another level come playoff time. It's going to be very difficult for him to do that. And I think he's trying to not hurt the team. And I understand, Brandon, you were saying he probably needs to do a little more, but he doesn't want to hurt the team because he probably doesn't feel good about his shot. He probably doesn't feel good about his one-on-one game. So it's very difficult for him to figure out how can he help the team. So now he goes to game 3 or game 7 situation. I look for him to be a lot better. They need him to be better, but he's definitely not hurting the team. They need him to play.
100%. He's helping the team. And you know this, man, as a star, when you have a star player and they go down and then they walk back into that locker room and there's a possibility that they can play, you're looking at their every movement because they give you hope. They give you a sense of stability. They don't win Game 5 if Harden's not out there because no one knew what he was capable of doing. Well, is he capable of dribble penetrating? Is he capable of creating space and knocking down a shot? We know he can be deadly once he gets hot. He hasn't been hot, but you don't know. And then you take pressure off of KD. KD didn't have to have the ball in his hands the entire game. So he definitely helps. But Twan, here's when I say he can do more. What I'm saying is we know his pace in play isn't as quick and it isn't as fast, because of the hamstring. But you're still creating space out there on the perimeter. You got to knock down those shots. He is playing a little too confident, it seemed like, if you go back and look at the game last night. We don't need you to go hunt for a foul at the three-point line. Like, instead of falling down, like, just lean into it and just try to get back into rhythm. And then also, there was 4 turnovers. Where he was just a little too confident with the ball and too loosey-goosey. Instead of you trying to do all the no-look and the cute little passes, everything's on the line here. Let's just stick to the fundamentals until you get back in your rhythm. And there was, Nick, a couple times where his defense helped that team out a lot. He had 4 steals.
That is true.
And those steals came at the best time where they were on the run. The Bucks was on the run. He ripped Giannis. He ripped Middleton, and he stopped the run. So he's definitely helping. But I just want to see him just be, play a little cleaner, brand of basketball.
Here's the problem, though. Harden is a one-of-one player stylistically. And the thing is this. We think of James Harden as a great three-point shooter. But he's not. He's a good three-point shooter. In his career, he shoots almost the exact same percentage from 3 as LeBron. Like, they're good three-point shooters, not great three-point shooters, but he shoots so many of them that he is one of the most prolific three-point shooters ever. Also, he is shooting a lot of threes with space because of the step back, which is hampered with a hamstring, and because guys are terrified of him going around him, which is hampered with the hamstring. But what is James Harden the best in NBA history at? Drawing fouls. And he can't do that right now because he draws fouls by getting by you and getting to the lane and then doing what he has perfected. That is gone with the hamstring injury. So much of what has made James Harden a singular player in NBA history. What did Barkley call him? The best one-on-one player ever. Not the best spot-up shooter. He's a good passer, but not the best passer ever. When you think of James Harden going one-on-one, what do you think of? Him going between his legs 65 times and then going past you. Even though he's not incredibly fast, he's got some Luka to him where he gets you on his hip and you're dead. That's all gone with the hamstring. But here's the problem, Wilds. Steve Nash has just committed to no one else playing. Bruce Brown was playing 23 minutes a game this postseason. Now he doesn't play. Mike James, Brandon's guy, was like giving you minutes. He's played 3 minutes in each of the last 2 games. You have 2 other point guards on the roster, Tyler Johnson and Chris Chiozza, neither of whom are very good players, but both of them played in the playoffs. They don't play. So, they have just decided, Wilds, it's just going to be hard. I mean, I know we say he played 40 last night, but all the starters came out with 5 left. So he played 40 of 43. He played almost the entire game again, and I don't think in a Game 7 you can say to Bruce Brown or Mike James, who have been taken out of the rotation, we need 10 good minutes from you. I just don't think you can.
That's a great point.
So Nash has decided, starting with Game 5, I'm treating every game like Game 7. I'm playing 6 guys. And Landry Shamet's one of the 6, and Landry Shamet's never been good in the playoffs ever. So you're just hoping and praying because the other guys know they're not going to be leaned on.
Yeah. So, Antoine, I'm actually surprised that James Harden hasn't been exposed more on the defensive side. We saw in the Atlanta series, when Seth Curry's on the floor, Gallinari, they hunt for him. And Gallinari hit that turnaround, that kind of changed the game, but it was like a dagger. It's hunt for Steph. I don't see Coach Bud hunting for Harden. It just doesn't seem like part of their offensive flow. Middleton's hitting his shots. Giannis is getting, attacking the rim. But it doesn't seem to be a concerted effort to be hey, why don't we go after the guy who's playing on one leg who also isn't a great defender to begin with? Is that a schematic thing or a philosophy of why Coach Bud isn't targeting Harden?
I think you obviously with Milwaukee, if you watch their offense, they don't really have that type of guy on their team. Chris Middleton is a pretty good one-on-one player, but besides him, we know how Giannis plays, but besides him, there's no one guy on the team that you can actually put in attack mode. Holiday's not that an aggressive offensive player, so you don't expect that from him. So Middleton is the only guy, and it looked like Middleton, you look at Game 6, he was very aggressive at attacking when Harden was on him. You can do that, but I think that will take away from what the Bucks do offensively, trying to seek out Harden. It just goes back, if you really look at Harden's situation, it goes back to what we've alluded to over the last couple of segments. It's just about the others. When I won a championship with Shaq and D. Wade, it was imperative that myself, James Posey, Jay Will, Gary Payton, Udonis Haslem, Alonzo Mourning, we had roles to play. We knew we had to step up and do certain things. We played in the finals where Dwayne Wade probably had one of the most amazing finals of anybody ever in NBA history. But he also still needed us to contribute and do certain things on the court. And that's where Brooklyn's at right now. I know Harden's hurting, and you're asking Harden, a guy who's saying he's not doing any basketball activity, to play 40 minutes. That goes on coaching. This is Steve Nash's first rodeo. He has to figure those things out. You have to believe in your bench. That's the reason why you pick the guys so you can go 8, 9, 10 deep. That's what great coaches do. They go down their bench and they try to find production from different guys. This is first rodeo. He's nervous. He's going with the guys who's got the names, who's been there before, and that's what we've seen. That's what you've seen in Game 6. Game 7, you got to put your head out. You got to let it all out, and you got to be able to trust the guys that's on your bench. And that's what's happening with Brooklyn right now. They don't trust their bench. They don't trust the guys that's been there all season long and carried the torch when different superstars in their team was out. That's right. Now you're scared. Now you want to play such a rotation to 5. It's going to be very difficult to beat the Bucks in Game 7 playing their way.
It's a great take.
And back to Wild's point quickly. Let's say they do go at Harden, right? Game 7. So what you'll see is they're going to go at Harden, whether it's Middleton or if it's Drew Holiday, they get around him, then they kick it because you got help defense come, And now who's going to knock down the shot? Because they're still shooting 21, 23% from three. That is a problem.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.